Hello and welcome to another edition of AAR On Air News. Today's programme is going to take a look at the big issue that is threatening our sport and indeed all shooting. The proposed banning of lead in ammunition. Now what is all the fuss about lead? Well, let's take a brief look at lead initially. Lead, or to give it its symbol, PB, which comes from the Latin plumbum. No guesses where the word plumbing came from, and yes, it was and still is being used in plumbing and dates back to the Roman times, who were the first to use lead pipes. And indeed, I have recently gone to the expense of removing all the lead pipes from a property due to the potential health risks. Indeed, lead has been used in so many things historically, including paint, petrol, makeups, drugs, crystal and of course lead acid batteries. The latter has seen an increase in the production of lead worldwide, the worst offenders being the USA, India and the worst culprit of all, China. So, with all this going off, why are people interested in stopping the production of lead in ammunition? Surely it's negligible, isn't it? Well, in the UK alone, there are an estimated 6,537 tonnes of lead released into the environment from hunting with shotguns alone. I'll look closer into some of the statistics a little later. So what are the health risks of lead? Well, lead is highly poisonous whether inhaled or swallowed, and the bad news is it can affect every organ in the body. Lead is absorbed into the bloodstream and when there starts to affect the proper functioning of enzymes. The results can be severe damage to the brain and kidneys and ultimately results in death. The argument is that careless disposal of lead from weapons can get into the food chain, from agricultural land and the water table. Carelessly disposed of would include anything from high levels of target shooting to a single shot into a pest. Of course, eating a rabbit shot, for example, is also classed as secondary poisoning because technically it's in the food chain. So, who are the main culprits? Well, I promise you some figures, and here they are. And they make interesting reading. Hunting with shotguns, 6,537 tonnes. Hunting with bullets, including airguns, 14.5 tonnes. Outdoor sports shooting with shotguns, 1,680 tonnes. Outdoor shooting with bullets, 26.8 tonnes. At this point, I should add that the exact tonnage for shooting airguns outdoor for sport purposes is not available, and I wouldn't like to speculate as to the amount, but I'd be pretty confident that it will be a small fraction of the shotgun contamination levels. Points for discussion here should maybe be around focusing more on the shotgun users rather than the airgunners and the like. Now, this programme is really aimed at giving you the facts that I am aware of at the moment and opening up the conversation on the platforms that are on the screen. And probably there are many more platforms too. Time perhaps to take a look at what stage this proposed lead restriction in ammunition is at. Well, this has been talked about for many years and a 5-year voluntary transition was already started. But the Health and Safety Executive have now got involved and the timescales are being stepped up. And it has now become quite the political issue, not only here in the UK, but in the EU also. They are proposing a 6-month consultation period commencing the 6th of May 2022, at the end of which there is proposed to be a very short decision period and then an implication period of between 18 months and 5 years. So far, it looks like a ban on the sale and use of lead shotgun ammunition with a transition period of 18 months. Unless you're shooting on a licensed shooting ground, and this licensed shooting ground will be required to recover 90% plus of the shot fired. Quite how they propose to do that is a bit of a mystery to me. If they can prove they can collect and do so, that is, the transition period will be extended to 5 years, but still with an ultimate ban at the end of this period. With regards to bullet and air guns, there is a proposed ban on lead with an 18-month transition period for larger calibers of 5.6mm or larger, or a 5-year transition period for calibers below 5.6mm, so the standard 22 and 177s. The use of lead in bullet and air weapons can continue if used at a licensed range, and again 90% plus of the lead has to be collected, with no agricultural use of the land and no contamination of the water table. Now, this is the basic outline of the proposals and is by no means a full and concise list. Now, I realise the conspiracy theorists are going to be getting their thoughts and opinions together, and I must say it does look remarkably like a backdoor to licensing the sport further. Discuss. I must say, policing this may be a little difficult to an already stretched police force, so the restrictions are likely to be made at the point of sale and adding to the complications of the shop's already heavily legislated roles. I do believe any decision should be realistic and help the environment, but also need to bear in mind the shooting industry in the UK is worth £2 billion to the UK economy and employ around 74,000 people, with an estimated 4 million shooters currently, of which 600,000 are live quarry shooters, who I would be so bold to say are very concerned about the ecology and do most of the control and shooting to balance overpopulation of certain animals who, left to grow out of control, will do the countryside more harm than good. It could mean that current shooting grounds will have to close or turned into indoor facilities to comply with the collection of the 90% plus proposed ruling, which will be an enormous expense. Of course, it could simply mean finding an alternative to lead for use in our ammunition, such as alloys or copper or other materials. I have in the past used both of these from time to time in my reviews and will continue to do so, but the results have been mixed on both accuracy and power levels, and that has been in the smaller calibers. Hopefully this has just highlighted a few of the potential issues facing the sport in the near future and could mean a ban on buying and using lead over the next 2 years, as the 18-month period will start from the day legislation is passed. So 2024 could be a big year for the industry. I know of one pellet manufacturer who is restricting the sale of its alloy pellets to its wholesalers. Maybe they're storing up their reserves, or maybe they have another plan. Who knows? Please do leave your comments on this channel and other forums and get your opinion out there and hopefully suggest some alternative solutions. Please subscribe and click the alarm bell to this news channel and give us the old thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and of course it just leaves me to say stay safe and shoot safe, and I'll see you next time.